I am not really excited for Twisters. I want to be, and I think it's going to make decent money and make its budget back and be a success. But I think the first one was successful because it did a number of things right, and that's why it's getting a sequel now. And I think the second one doesn't look like it's doing the same things right. I am pessimistic about it being as good a movie experience as its predecessor. What's the premise of Twisters? Well, basically the same as the last one. A lady scientist and a storm chaser guy chase a bunch of tornado events in the middle of Oklahoma. And so it's people driving around in pickups with some scientific equipment while special effects go off around them. And being straight with it, this looks like a strong cast, and the special effects do look good. This film definitely satisfies a certain level of moviness in its high concept nature and in having a likable cast. Glenn Powell, especially to me, is carrying the torch of a young Bruce Willis in his capacity to come off very macho, but very charming, but very funny in an intelligent way. That is a mix everyone in the world can get behind watching. So I think people will go to this movie just to see him. But the original Twister didn't just have one thing working for it, or even three things. Like all truly great films, it had 5 things working for it. 1, it is probably one of the best spectacle films ever. It takes its high concept idea and just runs with it. You see every type of tornado you may have ever imagined there existing. And you see them in all sorts of different contexts, with all sorts of different dangers. It squeezes the lemon from its premise so well. 2nd, it has an excellent cast, both in its leading actors and in its side characters. 3, it does have some compelling emotional hooks, the most basic of which is that the very opening is the female lead seeing her father get killed by a tornado, and thus everything we see in the present is subsequently colored by that experience, implicitly and eventually explicitly. 4, Twister was really banking off the novelty of the idea that they were going to show this world of storm chasing which does exist in some form, and this semi-fictionalized world of meteorologists and scientists, and bringing this subculture to life in a cool way, in a way that big audiences hadn't seen before. But now we have seen it before, so its novelty is lost. And 5, it had a real sense of humor, both within the story and about itself. It knew it was kind of silly, it knew it was kind of campy, it knew watching a bunch of people chase after storms for a couple of hours, talking about how serious storms are, is inherently a little goofy. But they lean into it, and so it gives the film charm, understanding, and it knows what it is. The main characters do take it seriously, because you need to be sincere about the core concept, but not everyone in the cast is serious, and so it makes it feel grounded, if you'll pardon the pun. All this culminates in this fantastic movie event that basically has all the emotions. Sad, serious, funny, scary, heartfelt, awe-inspiring, and what you end up with is a very satisfying product. Twisters, by contrast, looks like it's doing maybe 3 in having a good cast, having some decent spectacle, and potentially having a good emotional hook. But it doesn't really look like it has a strong sense of humor, and it can't ride off the idea of being a novelty. It definitely looks charming, especially via Glenn Powell. There's no denying there's tons of charm rolling off of him specifically, but it doesn't really look like it's funny or that it has a sense of humor about what it's doing. There's a chance it's running the risk of what some reboots do, which is taking its previous entries so seriously that it loses any ability to be lighthearted. And here, this is especially a mistake because previous entry didn't succeed because it was part of a franchise. It succeeded because it was very well constructed. And relying too much on the nostalgia factor to make the film better will not work. It could be just using trailers that don't relay all the cool things about it. But from where I'm standing, it's unclear. And there's a 50-50 chance that we will go see it, and then just go, that was okay, and then walk away. But we'll find out. I'm gonna go see it tonight.